First day I went live, within the first 5 minutes, I made $1,000. I made like 7K my first month.
And how much did you make for this month?
I made 26,000.
What would you say is your best single trade for a day so far?
Last week, I broke my personal record and I hit 10,000. I more than made my investment back in my first month of trading. Without this program, I would not be anywhere near where I am today. Now I love my life.
Welcome everyone to another episode of Stock Navigators Trader Spotlight. My name is Tiffany Leung and I am Tom's daughter. I am super excited to talk to another successful trader in our program. I am so honored to have her here today to share her story. Do you mind introducing yourself and what is your name?
Hi, my name is Dana Patterson and I joined Stock Navigators back in April of 2025.
Perfect, thank you, Dana. What would you say is if you do have a certain job or career at the moment?
So right now, my full-time career is doing day trading. I quit a job doing real estate for 10 years, doing new home sales, and decided to take on a new project for myself, something that I knew I could be passionate about.
Love that. And being in real estate for you said 10 years is quite a long time. Did you face any certain road bumps with that career path? Any challenges that made you look into other career paths afterwards?
Yes. So when I quit my real estate job, the reason why I did it and different challenges that came up with it was I was always working nights, weekends. I had to fight to get any vacation time. And I realized how much of life I was missing out on. I wasn't able to go see my nieces play their sporting events and my nephews play football. So I just hit a point where I realized the money wasn't worth it if I'm missing out on all the important things in my life. And doing that is kind of what led me to Stock Navigators. It gives me the freedom to be able to work at my own schedule. I never work weekends anymore. It still gives me the unlimited income potential, just like real estate did. And it just gives me a much better work-life balance.
On average, what would you say your working hours were on a typical week?
My working hours on a typical week were probably 75, 80-hour weeks in real estate.
Wow.
And even with that, it wouldn't stop because my phone would be going off after hours. I mean, everyone that was around me knew I was always on my phone.
Yeah, there was looks like you had no rest from work at your last job.
I absolutely had no rest. And I finally hit the point where I was like, something has to change.
Love that. What made you look into trading specifically?
So it's a long story on what actually got me into trading specifically. It first started when I hired another company, or so I thought was another company, and they had a program where they said that they guaranteed me 30% returns on my investment. And I made the mistake early on of telling them how much I had to invest, and unfortunately, in the process of it, they gained my trust over 2 months. I mean, I talked to them every single day, answering lots of questions, and unfortunately, it ended up being part of a pump and dump scheme. So I ended up losing about 70 grand. And after I lost that money, I said I could no longer let someone else tell me what to do with my money. So while I did enjoy being scammed, I just see it as a blessing in disguise because without that, I don't know if I would have ever even researched Stock Navigators.
And I appreciate you sharing your honest experience with other programs that you have taken. What made you interested in trading specifically in the first place? Was there something attractive about trading versus, any other job careers you could have done after real estate?
I would say the thing that got me most excited about trading is I have met so many people that have come across my path in life that have either retired at like the age of 40 or so many people that were living their best life and only telling me they're working 2 to 3 hours a day. And that's something that I wanted for myself. So coming from working 75, 80-hour weeks to doing something, making lots of money while also doing something enjoyable just seemed to be the right fit for me.
After your experience with the last, I guess you call it company, I'm not sure what you call it at this point, how did you stumble upon our company? Because there's so many other trading companies out there, right?
There are so many companies out there, and I ended up coming across Stock Navigators from just doing a lot of online research. And I talked with multiple different places before I agreed to sign up anywhere. And when I came across Stock Navigators, it just felt peaceful. I could tell that the person I was talking to that they cared. I liked hearing that there was going to be regular coaching calls where I could ask my questions every day. And it just made me feel like I was going to be handheld through the process more, especially since prior to this, I had no experience with stocks whatsoever.
Wow, that is pretty impressive. You say you've been in the program for since April, so that is about a couple months, right?
Yeah, so since April, we're in September now. So May, June, July, August. About 5 months I've been with Stock Navigators.
Okay, why don't you share with me how your journey has been in the program so far?
So when I joined Stock Navigators, I started straight from the get-go saying, I'm going to do this as my full-time job. So I ended up spending, in the beginning times, like anywhere 10 to 12 hours a day studying and going through the class material. And a little OCD type student where I never wanted to move on to the next module until I knew that I fully understood everything in the previous. So sometimes I would watch a module two, three, four, even 5 times before I would go on to the next step. So I ended up basically just doing studying for 3 months and made my way through the course. Right after that, I practiced in a sim just to prove that I could be successful. And then I went live about 2 months ago.
That is pretty quick, only being in the program for 5 months and already being on live.
Yes, I mean, the things that are taught in this class, it made it so easy to digest. And then when I could see the proof in the pudding, it was super easy. And for me, it wasn't even that I made a decision and said, okay, I'm going to go live by whatever date. Like I was just doing the sim. And then as I was doing simulation, I would see things and I'm like, that is a complete no brainer. Like I know that. I know what's going to happen because the tools that are taught in this course. And then it dawned on me, I'm like, if I'm that confident that I know what's going to happen, why am I still doing this in STEM? And that day is the first day I went live, and I went live, and within the first 5 minutes, I made $1,000.
Wow. And I want to jump into that in a little bit. And I just want to clarify something. Did you still had your real estate job while you were going through the program of Stock Navigators, or did you already quit your full-time job before pursuing Stock Navigators?
Yeah, so I didn't pursue Stock Navigators until after I quit real estate. I decided I was going to quit and take 3 months off, figure out what I wanted to do next with my life. I didn't know if I'd go back and work for another builder or if I was going to change careers, but I just wanted a mental break and take time away to, put myself as a priority again. And I think it had to be by God that I found Stock Navigators during that time.
I would say so. I mean, there's tons of programs out there, right? And not each one of them teach the same thing. So there must be some alignment there from someone for you. Let's dive into more of your trading. You said that you made $1,000 within your first day of going live. That is super exciting, by the way. So where are you now exactly? Are you trading with your own money or with someone else's money?
So thankfully, with the real estate job that I was doing, I was able to put a good chunk away, which is what allowed me to kind of take a step back and take a break from everything. So I am just trading with my own money. And
Beautiful.
first month I started out, I made like 7K my first month. And for a beginner going live in my first month, I thought that was pretty good. And this past month, I shattered that record and tripled it.
Wow. And how much did you make for this month, if you don't mind me asking?
I made 26,000,
Wow. All real money.
all real money.
Wow. I mean, this is impressive, right? And, there's so much that can be done with trading, and I think that, the results speak for itself, and there's not really a threshold when it comes to trading, right? Now, do you have a certain daily income goal that you make every single day, or do you just kind of look at the charts and whatever you see and are able to read the charts, you're able to take whatever the day gives you?
So when I first started, my goal was, all right, I want to hit $1,000 a day. And that was my goal. And I said, I'm going to just put it down when I'm done, once I hit that. But then I started making that $1,000 within the first 20 minutes of the market open. And then I was like, well, what am I going to do with the rest of my day? So now most days I just try to average between 3 and 5,000 a day.
Love that. And how many hours are you trading each day, Dana?
The hours that I trade each day depends on the day. That's the one thing I love about this is that it gives me flexibility. But for the most part, my goal is to be done by 11:30 in the morning every day. And days where I'm feeling extra good and just want to stay on the charts, I'll do it. But I always make sure that I'm refreshed and not doing it out of like stress or anxiety.
How do you ensure that you're not over trading? With the results that you're getting, which is very impressive, especially being only in the program for a few months. How do you make sure that you realize, okay, enough is enough for a day?
That is the ongoing question. And I think that is something that I'm still in the learning process of learning when to stop in a day. It's for me, learning when to stop is probably one of the hardest things for me. It's that balance between like greed and what I want to achieve. So I'm still learning in that, but I mean, Cleve and Tom and all the coaching they do, they make it so clear and so helpful. Or being on their live streams, they'll say, okay, everyone, don't be greedy. Like, you gotta know when the right time is to walk away. So I'm still fine tuning that skill, but I'm getting better and better.
Okay, it's always a learning in progress, right? And what would you say is your best single trade or best single trade for a day so far?
So far, happened last week. I broke my personal record and I hit 10,000 for the
And
day.
for the day. Wow, that is amazing. Congrats, Dana. That is super exciting to hear for you. You mentioned that, you love the live streams. It helps kind of keep your psyche in place, especially in the morning when you're trading. Walk me through a bit more about the program. What were your favorite aspects of the program that you really enjoyed most and why?
So the favorite things that I love about the program is how simple it was made. When I took the course, I couldn't believe that I was actually going to be doing or understanding anything about stocks. To me, it was such a foreign world, a foreign language. Never gave any two thoughts about it. But the layout of the class is laid out so simply that I'm like, I know even my mom could do it. Or if I have any friend, I think anybody can do this because it's just so simple and it starts you from the beginning of stock trading to like more advanced levels. So, I mean, sad to say, like truly when I first started, I didn't even know what bull versus bear meant, or I didn't understand candlesticks. Like I knew absolutely nothing. So that's why I tell it. Like, and now all my friends are saying, so when can I come sit alongside you? Like, when can you teach me? And I just keep telling them, I was like, you have to take this class first, then we can talk. But this makes a huge difference and it just made it so simple.
Did you spend a lot of time in the Discord community at any point so far?
I spend quite a bit of time in the Discord community. The family here at Stock Navigators is unlike anything else I've ever seen. Everyone supports everyone. There's constant dialogue going on. If you post a question in there, someone always responds within 5 minutes. We're all cheering each other on, and then you really become like a family with everyone else in the community. You learn who everyone is through comments, through coaching calls. And then the extra blessing for me was I met a friend through the class that lives like only an hour away from me. And now we talk every day as we're staring at the charts. So it's just nice to have a close friend in the business because it's different when you can talk to someone when other people don't understand the nature of the business.
Wow, that is amazing. You found someone who lives close to you. What are the odds of that happening, right?
Right? Seriously.
And where do you live again, Dana?
I live in the Orlando area of Florida. So I'm in a smaller town of Winter Garden.
Wow, yeah. What are the odds of that, right? Because I know Orlando's a decent sized city, but that city in itself, that little area, I don't think it's too big, right?
No, this is such a quaint town. I love it here. I always say it's like a Hallmark movie in Winter Garden.
Love that. Well, it looks like I have to visit at some point then if you're talking great things about it.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So I want to dive into a few more things. I want to see how it has impacted your life so far within the past few months, right? How has your trading success that you've seen so far changed your life beyond just obviously the money aspect of things?
Ever since I started day trading, everyone, even all my friends say, you are the happiest I've ever seen you. And being able to go to my nieces and my nephews' sporting events is so huge to me because I know it makes them feel extra special and extra loved by seeing me there. And over the past 10 years, I was always working. I was not able to attend because I always had a lot of their events were on the weekends, and that's my busiest time in real estate. And so now just getting to be there for them. Like my nephew even drew me a picture like a couple weeks ago and he drew hearts all over it. And he's like, Auntie Dana, I love you so much. Thank you so much for coming to all my football games. And I just like that stuff just melts my heart in a million pieces. Like I wouldn't trade this for anything.
Seems like it's changing your life for the better. You know, you look more happier. It's affecting your relationships with your close family members, right? I think that's a key thing in life, right? It's not just working nonstop, day in, day out. It's who you get to spend it with. And now that you have this ability to make money, it seems like you're able to achieve that.
Absolutely. I love the freedom that I have now.
Love it. I am so happy for you. And in terms of your family, do they live close to you, Dana? Like your parents?
So my parents live about 30 minutes away from me. So they're close by. And then I have one brother in North Carolina, another in Seattle. But then my sister-in-law's sister is here and she's my extended family. So
Love
I
that.
get to see all of them.
Love that. Everyone seems to be pretty close. So that's really nice. And how has this impacted your immediate family and relationships, whether it's personal relationships or familial relationships?
With the family relationships, I always say it starts out a little hard because when you tell them that you're going into stock trading, a lot of people have an idea of it that isn't the correct one. So I think a lot of maybe an older generation used to think, oh, stock trading is just gambling. And so it took a hump getting over that with my immediate family, but now they're coming around to it. Now that they're like, oh, you're actually being successful. Okay. Like, and I kept telling them, I was like, it's not gambling when you have a process and you're doing things with logic. So it's not like I'm just throwing something to the wind and be like, I hope this makes me money. Like there's not a decision I make to buy or sell that doesn't have a strategy behind it. So now my mom checks in on me all the time. She's like, so how much did you make today? And so it's nice to have her as like my big cheerleader cheering me on.
I agree. And I appreciate you being so transparent about that. I think a lot of families do have that mindset, and it does actually trickle down to their kids, right? And then to their future kids also. And you know, growing up with that mindset, I'm kind of surprised that you didn't really let it affect you in terms of looking into stock trading, day trading after you left your real estate career. Do you mind sharing why you didn't let other people's feedback kind of influence your own thoughts and your own decisions?
I would say I didn't let other people's feedback stop me. And I think a big portion of that was having the community. In our Discord community with all the other students, seeing the number of people in these classes that are now doing this as their full-time career, it just melted me. I see these people and I'm like, if they can do it, I can do it too. And of course, everyone's cheering you on along the way. Tom and Cleve on every call, like they're just always so joyful and laughing. And it just helps to have someone to talk to who understands what you're going through.
Got it. So just having people, even though they're not talking to you in person, just having the community is what helped you not let other people's thoughts and decisions affect your future with trading. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, exactly. Having the other people in the community just made my life so much easier. And by having their support and people that I can talk to, it just made it easy to overcome any obstacles.
Love that. And what are your current future goals? You know, you told me earlier on on this call that you wanted to be able to spend more time with your niece and nephews. That obviously has happened. You don't want to be working day in, day out. You're not doing that. Obviously, with trading, you only spend a few hours, if at most, to make money. What else are your goals now that you're able to achieve those two big things off your checklist?
Man, my goals are always changing. I'd say my next thing is I'm looking at retirement and what my life will look like when I decide to fully retire. Right now, my plan is to take the profits that I earn from doing this day trading and eventually invest it in real estate. And then that way I just have residual income that keeps coming in. But I don't ever think I'll stop. I tell everyone it feels like I'm playing a game every day that I'm beating.
Love that. Love that. That's a great analogy. And when you say you want to invest in real estate, are you saying like purchase properties? Is that what you mean?
Yes, my goal is to eventually have 5 to 7 properties that I rent out to people, and that way it's just a steady stream of income coming in. But my goal is to pay cash for all of them.
Love that. Thank you for sharing that with me. And I feel like that goal is something that you can definitely achieve in the very near future with the results you're able to make.
Thank you.
Now, looking back, Dana, you only been in the program again for 5 months, right? Like that is astonishing. The amount of months is so short, yet you're achieving so much. Looking back, would you say Stock Navigators is worth the investment?
Looking back on everything, I know it was an initial investment coming up. And when I was talking to the person, when I was thinking of signing on, and I was talking to him, and I said, well, realistically, how long do you think it'll take me to make my money back? And he said, definitely within 3 months. And I was like, really? And he goes, yeah. And then I loved it because he would even correct me. I'd be like, well, if I get to do this as my full-time job, I would need to make X amount of money. And he would always correct me. He goes, it's not going to be if, or it's a matter of when this is your full-time job. Because he's like, I can guarantee you that you are going to be successful in this. So I more than made my investment back in my first month of trading.
Love that. And I am so happy for you. And how does this compare to other educational investments that you have made previously in the past, if any?
Other investments I've done in the past, I hired a financial firm to help manage some of my money. And of course, I would see some increase, but not as much as I would like. And of course, I've already told you about how I invested in the other company that guaranteed me 20 to 30% returns on my stocks. And that unfortunately was the pump and dump scheme. So then I ended up losing lots of money. So this investment is by far the best investment I ever chose. I know there were so many courses out there that I could have taken, but I just looked, and just reading the reviews online about Stock Navigators blew me away and compared to anyone else. I could see people's true heart and what they were saying about the class. And so when I saw that from numerous people, for me, it became a no-brainer.
Thank you so much for the kind words. That really means a lot. We put a lot of heart and soul into creating this program to help other people achieve financial freedom. And so glad that you're another success story in our program.
Thank you very much. I'm thankful to be able to talk with you, and I am so thankful for you guys getting this program developed. It's changed my life.
Awesome. Do you think you could have achieved the success that you currently are achieving without this program?
Without this program, I would not be anywhere near where I am today. I never thought I would be able to replace my real estate income, and especially doing something without working a million hours a day. Now I love my life. You know what it's like when you have a job and you get up and then you start to dread going to that job? Now I'm on the other end of it. Now I'm I get up, I feel excited, I'm ready for the day, I'm excited to see the charts. And then on holidays when the market's not open, it makes me sad because I'm but I want to get on it. So that's a sign that you're doing something that you really love.
And not many people in this life get to do what they love. So I'm glad you're able to find something that meshes with you.
Thank you.
And what would you tell someone who's on the fence about joining?
If anyone out there is on the fence of joining, take me as your primary example. I came in not knowing absolutely anything about stocks. And when I say I didn't know anything, I knew completely nothing. I thought it was overwhelming. I look back on it now, and I even asked my parents and my friends, I'm did you ever picture me doing day trading? And they all laugh because they know that's just not the kind of person I am. I've done real estate forever. If I could do it, I know anyone can. It's a matter of the heart that you put into it, and you got a whole family of support here. So if you're on the fence, I don't think there's any company out there better than this.
And what advice would you give to new students that are just starting out on their trading journey?
For all the new students, my advice would be don't rush through the training. And I know so many people at first, when you get in and you get excited and then you see something on the training and then you think that you know everything and then you want to get right in and start trading. I can say that I was guilty of that too. And then I wish I didn't do it. So it's smart just to take your time, don't rush it, stay in the simulation until you're seeing consistent profits week after week. And I would also say just spend time each day. Just a little bit each day can go a long way. And you'll be surprised how quickly you can get through it.
Love that. And if someone is skeptical, Dana, about trading education just in general, what would you say to them?
If anyone's skeptical about trading educations, I understand. Like, there are so many things out there and nobody knows who to believe these days. I understand that. I understand the hesitation that people experience. I went through that too, but all I can say is read all the reviews. When you see the reviews of all the people that have done these classes and are now doing this as their full-time job and the amount of success and the family environment that is in this company, you can't go wrong. So I guarantee once you see that, you're going to be like, this company has so much heart.
Thank you so much, Dana, for being here, being another successful student, and sharing the truth and your experience with trading and your journey with Stock Navigators. Super excited to have you on this call, and I hope you guys all enjoyed it. And I can't wait to see more about what else you can achieve in the future and many more successes with trading.
Thank you so much. I look forward to it as well.